Welcome to my channel, BL Delights. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 12. The Heart Killers.
Tattooist Kant works as a spy for the police. When he's tasked to investigate a pair of gunman brothers, he finds that one of them is a one-night stand he hasn't been able to forget, Bison. The two assassins own a hamburger shop. Kant goes there and focuses his efforts on charming Bison into giving up information. When his attempts are thwarted by Bison's scary, protective older brother Fidel, he hires someone who can take him on. He enlists the help of his handsome best friend, Style, who's a pain in the neck and not afraid of anything. Mechanic Style once rear-ended Fidel, and they fought. Kant promises Style the car he'd had his eyes on if he can win Fidel's heart. If his mission is successful, Kant's been promised a clean criminal record so he can start a new life.
Number 11. Two World.
It depicts a journey of falling out of love and falling in love between two parallel worlds. After Krom's beloved Fufa is murdered, something happens, and Krom is pulled to a parallel world where 3 years prior, Kram and Tai had been in love. However, that Kram was killed by Tai's dad. One day, Tai drives by a road and finds someone in the middle of the road. The face of that person stuns Tai because he looks exactly the same as his lover from 3 years ago. What will happen next?
Number 10. Playboyy.
When Zoe's best friend Nant goes missing, his twin brother, Nant, came to investigate. Zoe joins force with First to help Nant solve the case. Delving into Nant's past, the trio find themselves entering a dark communities of the sex industry, AOB Puen, illegal pornography, Keen Captain, online hookups with drug dealing, Noth Pop, covert sex work, Jump Porsche, and sex love revenge exposing humans' darkest nature, prom/not. In the meantime, Zoe, who's afraid of sex, is seduced by his nude model senpai, while First delves so deep into the ecstasy of sex when met with Sung, an ex-sex worker, that he might become sex-addicted. Will they find the missing person, or will they discover some hidden truth about themselves through this daunting journey?
Number 9. The Sign.
For as long as Tharn can remember, he's had premonitions about those around him, sensing both the good and the bad. Partners on a team of special investigators, when kind and cheerful Tharn met clever and charming Faya, it felt as though they'd known each other for a long time.
Number 8. Manner of Death.
The story starts as Dr. Bunakit, a provincial hospital medical examiner, suspects homicide in what appears to be a suicide case. His findings draw dangerous attention, and an intruder threatens him to alter his report. When a prosecutor friend vanishes, Dr. Bunakit secretly investigates, leading to Tan, a man who denies involvement. Together, they team up to uncover the real killer.
Number 7. Jack and Joker, You Steal My Heart.
Fate brings two men together in a love-hate relationship as they collaborate on a grand heist. While Joker leads a double life. Boastful and talented in conversation, he is secretly a notorious thief wanted by the police. Using his exceptional disguise skills, Joker robs wealthy oppressors and redistributes their riches to aid struggling villagers. On the other side is Jack, a former substitute taekwondin turned debt collector. With a calm and quiet demeanor, Jack instills fear in those he encounters. Despite his intimidating presence, he is a reasonable man who believes in solving problems without force and holds the conviction that the strength one possesses should be used only to protect the weak.
Number 6. Chain of Hearts.
The story starts as of when a young forestry officer, Din, gets involved with a gang of illegal smugglers. It causes him and Ken, a young man who has been in a relationship with him for more than 7 years, to be chased away. They're both cornered and fall from a steep cliff. After several months, Ken wakes up, but without his lover by his side. As the years go by, things start to go awry when someone appears and has a resemblance to his former lover. The old memories return and now circle around him. Ken begins to suspect that Din might not be dead, and that Din might be this new person.
Number 5. Unforgotten Night.
Kim needed someone to embrace his body for just one night. It's the only night to know what your true needs are. And it was the only night that made the Mafia, Kamal, not want to let Kim belong to anyone. Kim, a 25-year-old office worker, has been in one-sided love with his senior, Dae, for a long time. To forget about him and move on, he decides to have one night stand with a random stranger he met at the bar. What he didn't know was the stranger would start liking him to the point of no return. Kamal, a 30-year-old Mafia, has some special needs in bed, and so he keeps switching partners, but no one is able to satisfy him. One night he meets Kim, who perfectly meets his needs. Right at that moment, Kamal decided to make the man his own and starts pursuing him.
Number 4. Kiseki, Dear to Me.
Bai Zhongyi, an exemplary student with dreams of becoming a doctor, is unexpectedly drawn into the world of an injured gangster named Fan Zerui. This unexpected encounter disrupts their tranquil routines and sends their lives into a whirlwind. Their initial awkwardness gradually gives way to familiarity and eventually blossoms into a heartfelt connection. Just as their love story begins to unfold, Fan Zerui's criminal past catches up with him.
Number 3. Pit Babe.
Babe, the #1 racer, is Charlie's idol. Charlie wants to be just like Babe, but doesn't have a race car of his own, so he gathers up his courage and approaches Babe to ask to borrow one. For fun, Babe agrees, and the two strike an interesting deal.
Number 2. History 3, Trapped.
The story of a police officer who becomes trapped in the underworld as he develops feelings for a gang leader. 4 years ago, a veteran cop and an elderly gangster were killed in a gunshot attack. The only survivor and the dead gangster's protege, the enigmatic and ruthless Tang Yi, is now the new gang leader who will stop at nothing to find the murderer and plans an elaborate trap to lure him out of hiding. Honest police officer Meng Xiaofei is obsessed with knowing the truth behind this case to avenge his mentor's death, and spends all his spare time tracking Tang Yi and trying to find what he is up to. When Meng and Tang Yi are kidnapped together and forced to survive in a cold mountain, things start to change between them.
Number 1. KinnPorsche.
Second son of a mafia boss, KinnPorsche, is fleeing from an enemy when he meets Porsche, an enterprising young bartender. Porsche agrees to help defend Kin from his attackers for a price. Porsche's martial arts skills impress, and spurred on by his father, Kin seeks to hire Porsche as one of his personal bodyguards. Porsche is opposed and rejects Kin's offer despite his attempts at intimidation. It isn't until Porsche's family home and his ability to care for his brother are threatened that he acquiesces and moves on to the Thirupanyakal property. It's not a smooth transition into the unorthodox violent job, and his relationship with Kin vacillates between strained and playful. When his feelings for Kin take an unexpected turn, his work becomes even more high stakes.